Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our session tonight titled Equitable Early Math PK-3. I'm Ma Bernadette Salgarino. I'm the Assistant Director of Integrated STEAM here at the Santa Clara County Office of Education, and I'm so blessed to have this presentation with our amazing coordinator for educator preparation programs. And so, Robin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Ma Bernadette. I really appreciate this invitation to collaborate with you on a presentation tonight. I am a coordinator in the educator preparation programs, developing a brand new credential, the PK-3 Early Childhood Education Specialist Instruction Credential for our county office's accredited teacher preparation program. And I myself am a former transitional kindergarten and junior kindergarten teacher who has taught every grade in between preschool all the way up to grade 5 and served as a STEM specialist for quite a long time as well. So we are delighted to be here this evening to enter into a conversation with you about early math, equity, and what we can all contribute to the conversation. So before we share any of our ideas with you, we'd very much like to know who you are. And so we're going to launch a poll here. If you could please select which category best describes your role out there in the universe in relation to children, we will appreciate that. Wow, this is exciting. We have a lot of teachers in the room tonight. We look forward to learning from all of you teachers. A couple of policy advocates, fantastic.
And administrators too, Robin.
Terrific. Well, the responses are still coming in. Almost everyone's responded so far. It's fantastic. Wow, we have 34 participants in the room. All right, we're going to give you a few more seconds. I'm going to end the poll and then we'll share the results with you. All right, I hope everyone is able to see the results. Looks like we have a lot of teachers in the room and some administrators, some policy advocates, and folks who have some other role in working with young children. So we're grateful for your time this evening, and we certainly hope that you are able to take away at least one thing from this evening to use in your practice in supporting young children with mathematics. So here's our agenda for the next hour. We're going to share with you our why. At Santa Clara County Office of Education, equity is a piece of everything we do. And we're going to share with you some research about the importance of early mathematics. We're going to share with you some ideas around the new California mathematics framework. And then we're going to give you some tips, tricks, and suggestions around developmentally appropriate math experiences in PK-3, as well as multiple measures of student growth and family and community math engagement tools and ideas. And we invite all of you to share your great ideas and resources in the chat as we go. This is a statewide conference, and we are in Santa Clara County, in Northern California, and we welcome the opportunity to learn from you wherever you are in your part of California. So our why. we'd like to share with you this video from An Ounce of Prevention, which we feel speaks to our why around equity.
That's me at 4 months old. I'm one of the thousands of little miracles born into poverty every day. That's my mom. She's 17 and never finished high school. She's got some big dreams for me, but she's alone and she's scared. This is my first birthday. That's my grandma, my cousin Tanya, and her boyfriend Kevin. We all live together. It's cold and crowded. I hope we move soon. I don't like Kevin. He's always yelling. This is my second birthday. We're all at daycare, strapped in watching TV again. I wish I could just run around. This is my third birthday. My brother William's taking care of me while my mom sleeps. She works the night shift, so we can't turn up the TV, but we get to go to bed whenever we want. This is my fourth birthday. We're sleeping at my aunt's this month. I don't know when my dad's coming home, but I'm hungry and I miss him. This is my fifth birthday. This is my first day of kindergarten. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm unprepared because I didn't get the right start. I'm twice as likely to be in special education. 30% more likely to never go to college. 70% more likely to be arrested for a violent crime. Become a teen parent. Drop out of school. Never hold a job. Spend the rest of my life in poverty. My mom plays with me all the time. She smiles a lot now, and she knows she's not alone anymore. Grandma, Tanya, and Kevin read me a story every night before I go to bed. I go to my school every day, where I get to run and play and see all my new friends. Will and I go to preschool together. Today we learned about dinosaurs and played a counting game. Every morning, my dad and I brush our teeth and eat breakfast together. We have our own place now, and I know we'll always be together. This is my first day of kindergarten. I'm rested, I'm eager, I'm confident, I'm curious, I'm prepared. I'm ready. I am your future. Change the first 5 years, and you change everything. Anyone interested in investing?
We'd like you to take a moment and look at these statistics. These statistics come from the National Association of Elementary School Principals. And in light of the video you just watched, would love to have you pop into the chat what you notice and what you wonder about these statistics. Thank you so much to Vanessa for pointing out the correlation with ACE scores. Those are adverse childhood experiences. And thank you to Ada for commenting on so many ways life improves for people, the trajectory improves. I want to share with you that at a recent at the UPK Leadership Symposium in Anaheim 2 weeks ago, when I presented these statistics, one of our participants was shocked to learn that preschool education actually, there's an effect later in life on automobile ownership. And when you think about the importance of an automobile in working, that's pretty powerful, car ownership. Well, thank you so much to everyone who put thoughts into the chat. Oh, there's a black box. Oh, I guess that's when I open the chat. So you know what? I apologize. When I open the chat, it caused a little black box to come up. I'm going to invite my dear colleague, Bernadette, to give us commentary from the chat going forward. Thank you, and I'm sorry about that. So for those of you who are early learning experts, as it sounds like so many in this Zoom room are tonight, you know that decades of research from the Harvard Center on the Developing Child demonstrate that the human's most flexible time for learning is from infancy to around age 8. The brain's ability to change in response to experiences in these early years are so dramatic compared with later in life. And so we share with you the why of math. This morning, I was shocked by this Education Beat podcast, in which it was revealed that Black and Latino students are the least likely to finish A through G course requirements in our high schools, which means that they will not be eligible for CSU, California State University, or UC admission. The majority. I mean, it's just shocking. And it reminded me of, that's why I popped an extra slide in here. It reminded me of some research I had done a few years ago. This research comes from the Pew Research Center. This was a study done in 2021 looking at Black and Hispanic representation in the STEM workforce. And I know tonight we're talking about early learning from PK-3 or early math, but I share with you these outcomes which reflect disparity in opportunities around STEM education and math education in particular at these very, very important times when the brain is most flexible, and urge all of us here tonight to continue to advocate for access to high quality math experiences for young children so that we can start to chip away at these kinds of statistics. Oops. And so everything that I advocate and Bernadette advocates for is based on research. There was a groundbreaking paper published in 2007 from it was a number of different researchers from across the United States. And this research was published as school readiness and later achievement using longitudinal data sets. The researchers found that early math skills have the greatest predictive power to predict later later achievement, both in English language arts and mathematics at grade 5. And then later, some not almost 10 years later, Wynn et al., all these other researchers, Wynn is at University of UC Irvine, Duncan is from Northwestern University. We've hyperlinked these articles. You are welcome to read them yourself. Wynn and fellow researchers honed in on which specific mathematics competencies are most predictive of that achievement at grade 5. And you'll see that Wynn and colleagues used longitudinal data from primarily low income and minority children. And what did they find through regressive analysis was that early numeracy abilities were the strongest predictors of later mathematics achievement. Early numeracy abilities, specifically advanced counting competencies. So it's really important for all of us, whether we're administrators or teachers or advocates, to understand what the research says so that we can continue to provide children with what the research documents is critical to later academic achievement. All right, well, let's play a little. As a former TK and preschool teacher myself, I'm very playful. So we're going to play a game. I'd like you to consider which one doesn't belong. And you can go ahead and pop your ideas in the chat. And Bernadette, if you could share out some ideas of which one doesn't belong from our guests, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Some of them said pentagon, Robin, square, because it's gray. A lot of them said pentagon. Why pentagon, friends? I would love to.
Oh, yeah, you've got to put your why.
Yeah,
Not enough to say which one. You also have to say why. Thank you, Bernadette.
The pentagon has 5 sides and all the others have 4 sides. Yeah, it's more sides. They are sharing the number of sides, Robin, as they're comparing the shapes of these geometric figures that you have here. Ooh, someone said, Heidi, depends on which way you look at it. Okay, Heidi, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. Yeah, shaded figure is another attribute that we can consider in this image. You're right. They're also just sharing the square because it's the only shape. Now it's moving. I couldn't find it anymore. That is shaded. Yep. So there's so much here, Robin, that speaks to the number of sides and other attributes of these geometric shapes. So very, very interesting.
Excellent. Well, I have to say, everyone is right, because any one of these, you could make an argument that it doesn't belong based on some attribute. Thank you to the guest who used the word attribute. Each one of these has an attribute that makes it unique from the others. Each one does. Now I'm going to give you another opportunity. Which one doesn't belong and why? Bernadette, if you could share some ideas from the chat.
Because it's curved. Yeah, a lot of them said S, Robin, because of the, curves and that straight line. Yes. Okay. S because it has no angles. It's out of order. Oh, look at that. Oh, wait, the X. X has lines crossed and Y is not a consonant sometimes. Again, S has no angles. A lot of them said S, Robin. Why? Oh, why? Because of its sound. Ha, again, it's out of order. That's S.
Interesting. Well, friends, I want to tell you that each one of these might not belong because of some attribute that it has. I'm going to go back for a second and ask you to think about lines. Lines. Think about the lines that you're seeing here and their orientations. And now, when you look at letters, look at the lines and think about their orientations. I want to suggest to you that even when we're in preschool or before we enter preschool, when we are infants and toddlers and we begin to look at shapes and notice their attributes, foundationally, shapes are formed from lines. And that understanding of vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and curve orientation of a line supports number recognition and letter recognition. So when we actually stop to think about geometry as a foundational element for both linguistics, for language learning, as well as mathematics learning, it sort of changes the game on the importance of geometry. So thank you everyone for playing. We have a couple more opportunities to play a little bit later. Did want to share with you, I'm not going to read it, but share with you that at a national level, the math community is calling attention to early childhood as an important moment in a child's mathematical journey. And the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics calls out the importance of we educators giving mathematics a look through the lens of equity and using opportunities to right past wrongs for our more marginalized children and their families. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into that later. I wanted to highlight for you, literally in yellow, a couple of wonderful ideas that I feel come out of the NCTM, the National Council for the Teaching of Mathematics position statement on early childhood mathematics. So I'll just pause and let you read for a moment. And if any of these really resonate with you, please put an idea in the chat. Thank you.
Robin, Ada said, it's especially for number 4 that building partnerships and opportunities is just as is so impactful in the way that we support our little ones in their quest for mathematical enjoyment. Yeah. Sophia also mentioned early childhood years as the foundation, and she's happy to see it as the beginning to get the recognition that it has always been needed and deserving for our community. Wendy also mentioned building on children's cultural, linguistic, home and community experiences is also so important. The words wonder and joy, as Prime said, reminds me of my early experiences with math. And Sophia also shared the second bullet that is resonating with her. And Jody,
Beautiful. Thank you so much
many
to the
beautiful things.
participants.
Yeah.
Keep the ideas flowing. I did want to share with you another suggestion here. This comes to us from Merced County Office of Education, which has done a lot of work in thinking about the hierarchy of math needs. So I'll just pause for a second, let you have a look at that. I have nothing more to say about it. I think it's a beautiful reworking of Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, but through the lens of mathematics. And now I'm going to hand the microphone over to my colleague, Bernadette, and we want to share with you, we've talked about nationally what's happening with early math, and we want to now take you into the new California mathematics framework.
Thank you
Bernadette.
so much, Robin. Thank you. As we all know, friends, we have the 2023 California Mathematics Framework. It has just been recently adopted on July 12, 2023. And this framework serves as a guide to implementing the California mathematics standards, both the content and the standards for mathematical practices. And as Robin was sharing earlier about the NCTM stance on early learning, this too is so overwhelming in the terms of messaging equity in mathematics, because in the framework, it's also is being elevated in the belief that all students deserve powerful mathematics, right? That access to an engaging and humanizing education is at the forefront of the experiences that we provide for our students. That is, student engagement is a goal in the design of curriculum and other learning experiences for our children. And of course, as mentioned in the chat earlier, our students' cultural backgrounds, languages, their lived experiences are all resources for teaching and learning mathematics. So in this slide, these three dimensions of systemic change are particularly important for mathematics instruction: the assets-based approach to instruction, active engagement through investigation and connection, and cultural and personal connection. And these practices undergird the discussion of the 5 components of equity and engagement as shown in this slide. And friends, these are all weaved in all of the different chapters of our mathematics framework. And as we all know, when we speak about assets-based, the building of classroom environments where all our students' ideas are valued, their voices are heard, their ideas and approaches to mathematics learning are integrated in the teaching and learning process, is amplified. That engagement through investigation and connection, as you can see, the which one doesn't belong is a way to, again, elevate that engagement and an inquiry process to which of those images or the figures don't belong. It's interestingly as well, in the process of utilizing which one doesn't belong, I usually don't use that now, Robin, because of the messaging of sense of belonging. So I usually now use which is unique instead of which one doesn't belong, so that we then come to, again, appreciate the uniqueness instead of segregating or isolating something else. Although, again, the mathematical reasoning here is just as important as the way that we engage in the math. And of course, cultural and personal connection, right? I mean, California's diverse student population is just so broad. And so then the cultural and personal relevance is so important in the way that we provide all these opportunities. And again, we will have another activity that we would like to share with you. And as you delve into that activity, I would like for you to think about these 5 components of equitable and engaging teaching for all students. How is this activity is thinking or approaching big ideas in mathematics, which we will also share with you. What do we mean by teaching around big ideas, right? Open and engaging tasks, teaching towards social justice, the invitation of questioning and conjectures, and reasoning and justification. So let's see. Robin, in the next slide, I would like for you again to invite looking at this image here, I'd like for you to share in the chat what you notice and what you wonder, and what do you think is going on in this image that we are showing you right now. It says there the water I use in 24 hours, and there are some images at the bottom. So I'd like for you, if you could share in the chat, you're noticing, you're wondering what resonates with you as you think about this task. Okay. They're asking Robin if it's possible to enlarge the image. So I wonder if we can. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Yes, Michelle, thank you so much for sharing that.
I'm afraid I don't know how to do that. I'm so sorry. Once the slide is in slideshow mode, I'm unable to change the image, but as best you can, as best you can with the pictures that you see.
We have some things shared here, Robin. The ways that a person is using water in 24 hours. We have their showering, making coffee, drinking water. Yeah, you're right, Jody. Visual clues, right? Those are ways to then anchor reading skills, and children who are multilingual can develop understanding using these visuals. Thank you. Ooh, Ross also said pattern of life skills. Basic water needs. The symbols represent the usage, numbers to connect to time. There's so many things, right, dear friends, that we can utilize in this image to then connect to the math, to the basic foundations, to reading and the skills we need for our students in order to make sense of mathematics. What is the social justice element? And I'm thinking Vanessa, water conservation. Yes. We're so blessed. We have rains right now. But few years ago, we've experienced drought. And so water conservation has been part of our daily life. And so even right now, even with water, that we should all still be conserving water, right? Connection, experience of people, and on and on. So friend, this is one of the many examples that you can see from the math framework, where we delve into open and engaging tasks, teaching towards social justice, an invitation for our students to ask those questions, to make some hypotheses, and of course, the reasoning and justification as they're trying to make sense of the math. And in the next slide, yes, thank you so much, Robin, because the first one, the first of the 5 components of equitable and engaging teaching for all students is planning around big ideas. And this is an example of the big ideas for transitional kindergarten. And it's shown through these circular nodes that speaks to those concepts that we would like to, again, elevate for TK. And so, as you can see, the size of these, I would say circles or nodes, as we call them, are also in different shapes, because it also speaks to the size being very important in when we teach these concepts for TK and other content areas or other grade levels as well. So then those connections will then invite our teachers to ensure that it's not teaching to standards and silos, but they are all connected. And that's been messaged all throughout in our mathematics framework. And here's an example of how that looks like for kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and transitional kindergarten, showcasing the progression along the lines of reasoning with data, exploring changing quantities, which are part of content connections in the math framework. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. And friends, we also want to let you know that this concept of coherence and alignment from pre-K all the way up to grade 3, this is part of our national conversation. The National P3 Institute at University of Colorado, Denver has been partnering with the National Association of Elementary School Principals to articulate what school communities can do to transform themselves into P3 aligned learning communities. And this evening, we want to share with you some strategies and some tools for just 3 of the 6 elements. So tonight we're going to share with you ideas around ensuring developmentally appropriate teaching and learning environments, using multiple measures to guide student learning and growth, and making schools the hub of pre-K to grade 3 learning for families and communities. So teaching and learning environments, I'm going to pause for a moment and invite you to think about what math is happening in the picture on the right. The picture on the left, I think we can all agree that there's some shape recognition going on, and that teacher clearly has a mindset of supporting the play, exploration, and investigation of her students in the way that she is interacting with them. But I want you to think about what is the math that might be happening in the other picture. And I'll pause and let you put some ideas in the chat, and Bernadette will narrate your ideas. Thank you.
Beautiful. Measurement and distance, predictions, estimation, concept of distance. Wow. Spatial awareness, Robin. Yeah, you're right. Probability. Distance, how many in and out of hoop? You're right. Yeah. Comparing how many bean bags inside the hoop and outside. Oh, Raquel, this is science. Force, right? How hard to throw the ball. Yes. Counting how many objects get in the hoop. Yes, you're right. Taking turns, sharing space. We have force again here. Oh, sets, trajectory path, arc. Oh my goodness. Amazing, right? So many wonderful mathematics.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. This is such an amazing, not audience, we're having a conversation. It's such an amazing Zoom room conversation happening here. Absolutely. Everything that's in the chat. Thank you so much. So much mathematics is embedded in a simple game, such as throwing beanbags into a hula hoop. Measurement, I heard, counting, I heard, set theory. It's all of the above. And that's the beautiful thing about play-based learning, is that once an educator presents a game-like or a play activity for the children, the educator setting it up has an intention behind it to support all of these different strands of mathematics in and through just one singular game. And the learning, as you saw with, as Bernadette pointed out, with the nodes, big idea concept, measurement is connected to shapes, and shapes are connected to counting. And so when an educator shifts their mindset into seeing the power of play-based learning and how materials can be used to foster this mindset in the children of exploration, investigation, and experimentation, it really creates more powerful engagement for the young learners, as well as depth of learning experience as well. I wanted to, for those of you who are teachers in the elementary grades or administrators in the elementary grades, I wanted to share with you this resource that comes to us. It's from the SERP Institute, and I always get their name wrong. This is the Strategic Education Research Partnership Organization. They produce this free they call it the 5x8 card. What a wonderful tool for school administrators and teachers alike to review together, perhaps review at a staff meeting, perhaps review when we are visiting our peers' classrooms and helping one another realize that equity is something we all have to think about when we are looking at a classroom. Equity of voice, equity of opportunity, equity insofar as accessibility. Our English learners, for example, provided with sentence stems or scaffolds. I just think this is a really helpful and useful tool that I myself used in school districts as a math coach. All right, on to multiple measures of student growth. So I wish I had taken a second poll now that I think about it, but I would love to know how many of you do observation as a form of data collection. Maybe you can just put your hand up and say, yes, I do. Hopefully a lot of you do. That's wonderful, especially if you're an early educator. One of the ways that most powerful ways that we can collect data on student growth is through observation. And that really enables us to observe not only math, but also self-regulation skills and everything else. So, but I want to suggest, so all of these are important in terms of collecting data that sheds light on the whole child's development. So data through observation. Thank you to Lorena for chiming in. Really appreciate all of you for using your observation skills and collecting data. DRDP is another tool that I will show you if you're not already familiar with it. It's been our state tool for children aged infant to 60 months, 5 years old, for over a decade. So it's a wonderful tool, and it is being updated. We suspect it will, an updated version will be released sometime this summer or next fall. And then formative assessment. I'm going to give you some examples of formative assessment through games, and then suggest how we can collect data from families as well.
Bobby?
And yes, go ahead.
Two of our participants raised their hands, so potentially they might have a question.
Great. Let's invite, would you please invite guests with questions to chime in?
So, see. Lorena, I'm going to allow you to talk, and I think you can now.
I'm sorry, I just raised my hands when it was asked for people to raise their hands.
Okay.
Oh, right, for observation data. Was so sorry. I didn't mean to confuse everybody.
Okay.
I know we have a lot of preschool teachers in the room who are doing observation. Yay, you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean,
You're welcome.
I have to say, for myself, I was a multiple subject elementary school teacher first, and then had this rare opportunity to be a founding teacher at a preschool. And I actually had to go back to school, take my child development courses, and I had this wonderful opportunity to do some learning at the Bing Nursery School at Stanford University. And I learned to be an anthropologist and to sit with my notebook in a corner and really, really observe and listen and think about what children were doing, what they were saying, and it was so powerful. There are a number of wonderful resources published by NAEYC, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, on how to collect data through observation. For those of you who are unfamiliar with it, this is a sample of our state-produced DRDP, and that stands for Desired Results Developmental Profile. And for me, the most striking thing about it is that it is very asset-based. Notice how we are discussing children on a continuum. Are they exploring? Are they building? Are they in the later stages of building? Are they integrating? And this tool, whether you officially use it or not, is incredibly helpful for communicating with parents in a way that helps the parents see that we see their child as a whole human being who is growing and growing on a continuum. I want to give a shout out to DREAM. This is developmental research in early mathematics education from Stanford University. They've developed this wonderful website that has a tremendous amount of materials for teachers on how to assess young children in all strands of mathematics. And they have wonderful games available, which can be used as an assessment tool. One of my favorites was always the mystery box. And to this day, even though I haven't been in the classroom for a few years, I still have my mystery box and I use it when I'm training teachers out in the field. It's a wonderful way of helping to assess. Does a child recognize, can they count how many faces the three-dimensional figure has? Can they identify which two-dimensional shapes are forming that three-dimensional figure? It's a absolutely wonderful game. So you will have access to this slide deck and these links by the end of the presentation today. And then the final idea around data collection is really from families, and hopefully for you, those of you who are preschool teachers, you are already doing some sort of family assessment. I know often our private childcare centers and family childcare homes may have their very own questionnaires, but for any of you who are out in elementary schools, one of the tools that our federally funded and state funded preschool programs use is called the Ages and Stages Questionnaire. This tool is really valuable in that it sees families as experts in their own children, as team members of the school, as learners who want to grow and understand their child's trajectory, and as advocates for their own children as well. The other thing that's beautiful about this particular product, not that I'm not selling it, I have no vested interest in it, but if your school is inclined to adopt some sort of family questionnaire, please ensure that it's available in multiple languages. Ages and Stages, I know, is available in many of the languages that are common to California families, including Vietnamese and Spanish. Speaking of languages, family partnership is a piece of that P3 learning community. Inviting families in to partner with us as educators in the growth of their young children starts sometimes with helping them understand child development and child growth. And this tool, called All About Young Children, is published by the state of California. It aligns with DRDP and the California Preschool Learning Foundations. And as you can see on the left, it is available in several languages, including Spanish, Hmong, Russian, Mandarin, Cantonese, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. And it's a really powerful tool for us. Not only does it discuss the importance of mathematics for young children, but also all other content areas, including social emotional development and language development as well. I'd also like to share with you a personal anecdote from my time as the math instructional coach in Redwood City School District. If anyone here is from Redwood City, shout out to you. Thank you for all of your work with me during those years when I was math coach. Well, we had in Redwood City discovered that our kiddos entering middle school had a real gap in their understanding of fractions. And unfortunately, it's not the fault of middle school. It's really those kids did not have the right kinds of scaffolding and support in their foundational understanding of geometry. And as we alluded to earlier with which one is unique, which I thank you so much, Bernadette, for reframing that game for us. What a wonderful way of thinking about it, which one is unique. When we looked at those shapes and we talked about lines, you recognize how vital and important shape awareness is. And so I was very influenced at the time when I was in Redwood City in 2022 by this research by Susan Beltran Grimm called Latina Mothers' Cultural Experiences, Beliefs, and Attitudes May Influence Children's Math Learning. And this was published in the Early Childhood Education Journal. This inspired me to run a kind of experiment in Redwood City. And we had at that time 7 preschools, 7 California State preschool programs. And we invited parents via text message, push notification, to watch one of these videos. And our parents were Spanish speakers, so we used the Spanish videos. We asked parents to watch the video, and these are about, 2 to 3 minutes long. Watch the video, do the activity with their child, and either take a picture or take a little video right back on the cell phone. And wow, we had unbelievable engagement. The preschool teachers could not believe it. When we had our P3 alignment meetings, they shared about the impact this was having on their families, that they were receiving photos and short videos of kids at home counting buttons and pairing socks from the laundry. It was really exciting. And so I share this with you as what I feel is a success case study, and encourage you to think about how you could take Dr. Beltran Grimm's research into your own school environment, or my example of applying it in Redwood City with our CSPP parents, using this beautiful tool, which is produced actually by Fresno County Office of the Superintendent, which is hosting this event tonight, the Count, Play, Explore, Discover the Power of Math website. What a wonderful tool. I also had invited those same California State Preschool Program parents to the auditorium, where myself and my Spanish is so-so, but our principal was a Spanish speaker. And so between the two of us, we facilitated a hands-on make and take mathematics at home opportunity for parents after drop off at the preschool. And I printed out, we had printed up for parents a copy of this free booklet that's available through California Mathematics Council. Ma Bernadette, who is my co-pilot tonight, is the president of our statewide California Mathematics Council. And so proud of our organization for having the vision to produce a booklet like this and make it free on their website. So we encourage you to check out that resource and figure out a way to use it in your community. Finally, I'd like to give airtime also to DREAM. I mentioned it earlier as a resource for teachers in terms of assessing children's math. It also has a family math component, and many of these activities are available in Spanish. I'm hopeful that in the years to come, DREAM may make their activities available in other languages as well. But these are free resources on the dream.stanford website, and we encourage you to figure out a way to turn your community into a math learning community that really engages families on a regular basis in their child's math engagement. And we are Santa Clara County Office of Education. Ma Bernadette and I are very grateful for your participation this evening. We do have a few minutes for questions. So I think at this moment, if you'd like to raise a quiet hand, of course your hand is quiet. If you'd like to raise your hand, we will unmute you so that you can ask any questions about tonight's presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for being engaged. We appreciate you and hope that you found at least one thing to take away from tonight.
Robin, we have a message from Team as well, our CMC North president. Yes, Robin, don't forget to mention that there's a new PK-3 math community in the CMC North. So don't forget that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Weeks. Yes, those of you who are teachers, California Mathematics Council needs you. We need more elementary, primary grades and preschool teachers in our organization. And I'm so grateful to CMC North in particular for having the vision to start a PK-3 math committee. So I am here. I am the person who's facilitating that committee. If you are interested in joining us at California Mathematics Council, please put your maybe email in the chat and then I can be in touch with you later on. Thank you.
Thank you. We have some emails in the chat, Robin, so that's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, team.
And we'd like to thank Haley from the State Board of Education for her efforts tonight with launching the poll and supporting us with the technology. Thank you so much, Haley. And a big thank you to Fresno County Office of the Superintendent for hosting the early STEAM event this evening. We're so grateful to them and to all of you for being here. And we hope you had some great takeaways. Thank you. We'll stay on and collect your email addresses so that I can sign you up to be in our committee.
And Elizabeth, I think, yes, they are going to be sending a video of these presentations because they are being recorded. And so, yes, we will be sharing those. So I think I am going to stop these